Look, big dog, in the background, Duke's right here up front with me. You're tuned in to You Tell Me on Monday Night Live. Duke, I'm going to help you out. We can get into it right now because my You Tell Me to you will be about strength and conditioning.
Okay.
Coach Prime has decided to make a change. Coach Mo has been retained. Maurice Sims is still on staff here, but he
Okay.
brought in a new head for strength and conditioning. Spent a lot of time down at the U in Miami. Put a lot of folks in the NFL, so knows what he's doing. Well accomplished in bowl games as well. You tell me, Dukes, how concerned should the fan base be about this staff change being made when everybody, loved and appreciated Coach Mo? Is this something that people should be concerned about or cheering about? You tell me.
You gotta be cheering about it. Reason being, when you look at the resume of a Coach Swasey, when you look at what he can add to that atmosphere, when you look at what he can help Coach Mo with, see, this a
Mhm.
lot of people are looking at it like it has to be a either or, and not thinking of it as a tandem thing. How can these guys work together when you have somebody who has the rapport with a lot of the returning players to mix it in with the guy with the resume that Coach Swayze has, and you blend those things together, and you get what can be a powder keg for success, especially when it comes to development of their bodies. So the key, the lifeblood to every program outside of recruiting, once you get the recruits there, the lifeblood of the recruit of the program is strength and conditioning. And strength and conditioning not only a physical thing, more so than anything, it's a mental thing. When you're a top flight football player, an athlete, you're already in the top 1% of athletes in the world. The key to strength and conditioning is less about how big your muscles get, but it's how big your heart gets in the fourth quarter. It's how smart you get to not want to waste your production in that weight room by how you eat when you leave. It's about discipline. It's about structure. And I think those are the things that Coach Swasey brings when you go look at his resume and you look at, just go Google his name or go search his name on Twitter/X. You are going to see multiple Pro Bowl players just sing his praises. You ain't got to look far. You can just go look on Twitter. Just put his name in. You'll see his son. You'll see former players. You'll see coaches. You'll see from Florida International to the University of Miami to Baylor in his playing days to the JUCO he went to. I mean, you just go down the list. I have not seen a crossword about him, and it's easy to find a crossword on the internet. So when you bring in a guy who resume precedes him digitally, first of all, then secondly, when you have a guy who takes a phone call and says, you know what, he was good. He was in Miami. He was straight. He just sent his baby boy is playing college baseball at Miami-Dade College. So he's good. But when you get a guy to come and uproot and say, you know what, I'm gonna bring something to this program, you better believe that fire that you saw in him on that video that you saw live, that wasn't for show. That wasn't because it was cameras there. He probably would have turned it up a little more if the cameras weren't there. And so I can't go on. I can go on and on about what I think, how good a hire this was for Colorado. You tell me what you think, Uncle Neely.
Well, first thing I tell you that when it's time to go on and on, this is your platform. You go on and on all you want to. We don't have no time limit. So always keep that in mind. This
Man,
us.
thank you, man.
We'll talk as long as we want to talk. But as far as you're flipping the you tell me back to me, I think folks need to just embrace this and understand that likability is one thing, but when there's time to go to another level, that's another thing. And that is no disrespect to Coach Mo. Coach Mo did wonderful things at Jackson State, did wonderful things here in Colorado as well. And before I dig into Coach Swayze, let me commend Coach Mo on his maturity and professionalism to accept this new position as an assistant to the head coach when a lot of folks would have walked off. Coach Mo knows, man, he's not even 40 years old yet, got a long future ahead of him, can learn a lot, from working with this new head coach, which will only elevate him when the team is winning more and winning more dominantly. And speaking of winning dominantly, let's address and look at our four losses, Duke. If you
Mm,
look at the four losses, We were simply out physical.
Mm-hmm.
We were out conditioned. We were out strength. We were pushed around in the trenches, et cetera, et cetera. And there's no denying that. And so when you get to the off season, and while you're evaluating during season things that we got to be different, because here's what we know now that you didn't know this time last year. It's going to take 10 wins.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to take 10 wins to be in the driver's seat of the Big 12. It's going to take at least 9 to make the championship. But if you want to be assured there, you got to have 10, maybe an 11, because that's what the top teams in the conference going to be forcing you into to get to the Big 12 championship, to win the Big 12 championship, and thereby placing the CFP. Because make no mistake about it, the goal this year is not to get Miss Peggy to a bowl game. The goal this year is to win the Big 12 championship. That means you got to get there. That means you got to be number one in the conference. That means you can't get pushed around 4 times in the trenches. So what did Coach Brian do? What any great CEO or leader will do. Let's look in the mirror. Let's address the problem. Let's bring in somebody who can shake things up and get us to that next level while showing appreciation and all that for those who got us to this level that we are. Now that's the foundation that we're standing on. How do we go up any further? You got to make some changes. And you got to have a person that's going to turn the players over to the football staff, well conditioned, where effort is not an issue. Because the easier you can make the effort in practice, the better you can practice, the better you can develop as a player, the more dominant you can be on game day. But it all starts with that spring strength and conditioning and that summer 1 and summer 2 before you go to fall camp. Coach Prime just simply evaluated where we were underperforming during the season. Let's bring in somebody to fix that. One of those underperformance areas was, whereas we were less penalties this year than last year, we were still the most penalized team, the Big 12, Dukes. The most penalized team in the Big 12, dead last. What is strength and conditioning outside of getting stronger faster? Discipline, checks and balances, accountability. So I know people who love these sausages but don't want to see it get made. They watch his speech in its entirety on the pregame network channel. Man, why are you coming every day yelling? Why are you coming there pointing out people? Why are you telling people, wait, why are you treating them like that? Discipline from day one, setting the standard from day one, setting the expectations from day one, and you're going to see the results of it when the season arrives. I love the hire. I love that Coach Mo was retained and made the decision to stay as well as Coach Reyes. But this was a needed flip for this organization.
No, I agree, and I'm glad to see it. One, because once I did my deep dive into Coach Swasey's background, I saw that discipline is first and foremost, but there's a time and place for everything, and I think that's important with our young athletes, for them to understand there's a time and a place for everything. Now, what they lead with in a lot of those stories is Coach Swasey was really, really tough at first. And then you really get into, you really find out why they're so crazy about them. Because after that, once you can meet the standard, then we're gonna have fun now. But I just got to get you here first. And that's why he endears himself to young people. And I think it's really important in this world of NIL where we give the babies candy to keep them from crying instead of giving the vegetables will make them strong. And we gotta get back to what it used to be if you want to have a team that's going to be able to sustain all the way through the college football playoffs. Because if you only lead with the candy, it's going to leave you with a stomach ache. So when it comes, to leave it, to back out of that one, I'll just say, I think it was very necessary and does it not match Coach Prime and what people fail to realize about him? Well, a lot of times people fail to realize they see the flash and they see the, they see the swag and they see all of this and don't realize he is as traditional an old school coach as anybody in the country. And I think this only supplements that fact.